Hey, welcome to my channel. Again, this video is going to be delayed, unfortunately, due to the fact that YouTube put in some restrictions because I streamed a game or streamed the Thursday night game, Giants and 49ers. But it happened to be in the back, not in the background. I was talking about it, and I didn't put myself in front of the camera as much, and like it was the TV basically. I was trying to show my reactions, but in any case. It's my own fault. I have to wait a full week, so probably Thursday, Friday, you'll probably see this video. So this video is being delayed release, of course. But I want to talk about the Notre Dame Ohio State game, and it was a good game. It was a good game. I won't deny that it was a really good game. Surprising. I mean, I thought I was rooting for Notre Dame. I'll be honest with you. I was rooting for Notre Dame, but the way Ohio State stayed in it, and how they scored that touchdown and everything. I mean, the fact is like, honestly, Ohio State players could have, probably fall short as a result of, like less than 2 minutes to go and like they're down. I mean, honestly, with a quarterback, I mean, granted, Marvin Harris's son being there, of course, the most talented wide receiver out there. Coulter himself, maybe, I don't know, being a okay quarterback. I don't know how good of a quarterback is, but he was someone, like kind of like a freshman quarterback in a way. But in any case, it was a case of what, basically, honestly, what Ryan Day did though. That at the end of it, I think a lot of people are deriding him of what he did, but honestly, he had every right to say what he said to Lou Holtz and calling out Lou Holtz. I mean, Lou Holtz called him out, and not only him, but the entire Ohio State players, football team, saying that they lack toughness. And the fact that, yeah, granted, Holtz was like, a Notre Dame alum, and for like 20 years practically coached the team. It's one of those things where everyone's going after Ryan Day. Says like, "Whoa, you shouldn't have gone after him like that." I mean, like, you're going after an 86-year-old man. Why are you going after him? Well, the thing is, it's like, it makes sense because you know what? This is a guy from his alma mater, his team, basically going after, saying basically like deriding the opposing team, which makes sense. But he has every right to come back and say like, hey, look, we won this. What's he gonna do? Be quiet about it? I mean, honestly, this is a man that said that the team lacked toughness. I mean, I don't want to say that the Ohio State team right now during that game lacked the toughness or showed pure toughness, but they hung in there. I'll admit that. And I think it was kind of, I don't want to say refreshing, but more so the fact that the man was emotional, that he let the emotions get the best of him, but at the same time, it was right of him. I don't think he was in the wrong for calling out Lou Holtz, quite honestly. Honestly, nowadays, coaches are like not calling out other coaches or other universities or whatever it may be. I mean, like, they're trying to stay away, try not to create controversy more than anything else. But honestly, quite honestly, I think more so to the point is, you know what? Just like Deion Sanders was calling everyone, I was like, "Oh, everyone's hating on us. You got to believe us. You don't believe us? Fine, hate on us. I don't care what, essentially paraphrasing, of course. But it's more of a case where, like, I think the Deion Sanders and the Ryan Days out there, like, we're probably going to see a little bit more of these people basically start going out and after anyone that calls out their team saying, oh, they lack toughness or they lack the ability to do this or they lack the ability to do that. And specifically, it's probably going to go against analysts more specifically more than anything else. And quite honestly, that's, if they do that, it's one thing to show them outright and say blah, but if they constantly repeatedly do the exact same thing over and over again, it's your right then to call him out directly, call out that analyst, and call out that analyst for deriding your team, basically deriding your entire football organization, basically, or football program more than anything else, because that's what it sounds like they were doing, as well as the coach for that matter too. Because I mean, honestly, we see it in the pros. They call out the analysts and sports anchors, when they're like essentially saying, I don't want to say negative things, but they're chiding the players like, oh, look, they don't deserve this. I mean, honestly, they're allowed to say that to the fans as well, too, honestly, because it's their right. It is their right. It's for them to not be able to respond to it. I don't think that's their own fault. They should have that right to go after, they should have to not go after people directly as that, but more of respond to these critics. They should have the right to respond to these critics without being penalized for it. I mean, honestly, what are you going to get? A guy that's going to say, Like they have a right to their opinion. But it's like honestly, if there's a like I hate to say this, but like Stephen A. Smith constantly going after the Dallas Cowboys. Honestly, the Cowboys. I mean, Jerry Jones has every right to the point where like if Dallas wins the Super Bowl, whenever they win the Super Bowl, if they win the Super Bowl, that is. And I know it's not going to be this year. Let's be honest, they're not winning the Super Bowl this year. But whenever they do, they have every right to go after Stephen A. Smith. And you know what? I think Stephen A. Smith will accept it. He won't just go after them. He'll accept it. He'll accept them coming after him basically because he's fully aware of what he's doing. So they're allowed to do that, come after him at that point in a way, more so like, basically responding to him. So I think that's a situation where I think in this situation with Ryan Day responding back to what Lou Holtz said, I don't fault him for that, honestly. I don't think that's something that he should be penalized for, nor derided for. I don't want to say applaud for it per se, but he has every right to do so, basically. Put it that way. And if he has the right to say that, and I think he has every right to do it either in national TV or at the news conference. More often than not, they have a tendency to do it at a news conference. But in reality, I think he has the right to do it in national TV because his team, his players were pretty much, and the program itself basically was pretty much put down by Lou Holtz. So they had every right. I mean, Holtz might be out of it, but at the same time, he knew what he was doing. I think he was trying to basically, give Notre Dame the advantage by doing so. So I mean, honestly, I don't fault for Dave for doing whatever he did. Basically, at that point, honestly. So like, don't be surprised if there are going to be a lot of other players, or not a lot of coaches, football coaches, that is, doing this. Is more so like, I mean, Sanders was starting it off, but now it's probably going to keep coming at this point. But I won't say that we'll see a lot of college football players doing this because honestly, I think they don't want to give that notion or that persona of just being a bad boy because then that'll hurt their draft pick. So of course they're going to try to be as copacetically calm as possible and just like ride with the flow until they become pros, and then they'll make their then they'll give their opinions at that point, which I understand at the same time, but from a perspective of, it would be refreshing if college players can do that as well too. But then again, these college players, they have to know when to speak and when to respond. That's the thing. Yeah, outside of that, I mean, let me know your thoughts. Do you think Ryan Day was wrong for calling out Lou Holtz on national TV? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And again, of course, unfortunately, this is going to be much delayed release based on the fact that the game was played on September 23rd. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Again, I do read my comments and I do respond to them when I get notified and they warrant a response. If you like my channel, like my videos, like my content, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you have subscribed, I thank you for that as well too. And I also, again, like I said, I welcome feedback, so please leave some feedback. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, and of course, unrehearsed. Until next time.